Hello guys, welcome to this awesome episode where we compare the Canon M100 with the Sony a5000. Do not go anywhere because I'm going to bring you absolute value, and I really want to show you guys today which one I like the most, why I like them both, and just to give you a good comparison of which one is better or which one you should perhaps use or not use, or just give you a comparison so you got a rough idea how good both these cameras really are. So without further ado, I'm going to check out both these cameras. So today, this is the M100, and this is an awesome camera. I love this camera. I want to get into it in more detail, but I just want to show you what it looks like. That's the M100, and this is the Sony a5000 that in the time of this video was made. This is the camera that I've been talking about quite a lot in the series that we've been making around this camera, and I just want to share some things about both these cameras, the do's and don'ts, and perhaps anything I don't like about them as well. Give lots of honest opinions, and feel free to ask your questions about any of these cameras in the comments below, and I'll do my best to answer them best I can. Now before we carry on, I'm Dave from TVR Creators, and I make weekly content on the best cameras for creators and hobbyists, or people that just want to get their first camera. If that sounds interesting, you don't forget to like and subscribe, and let's crack on. So because I love it so much, I'm just going to tell you briefly about the M100 from Canon and why I still love this camera in the time of this video. So this is a 24 megapixel camera with interchangeable lenses. I love the kit lens for this, and just to give you, at the time of this video, I still use this particular camera for doing most of our thumbnails. Obviously I can't do that today because I'm talking about the camera, but I love this camera because it takes fantastic photos. I love the fact you can just press the screen, it takes a photo. Okay, it doesn't have a viewfinder, but I love the photos that this produces. I've used this many occasions on family day trips and stuff like that, and I have made quite a few videos with this camera as well, and this camera would be a fantastic first camera for either photography or video. It has a nice internal microphone which is good for recording indoors. It's fine for outdoors. Okay, I would obviously recommend something like the M50 or even the R50 if you want a proper video camera, because obviously you have a microphone jack. But you can get one of these now for about £150–200 still, and even though they've been replaced by the M200 and now the R100, which is a very good camera that does actually have a microphone jack. But personally, I like this camera because these cameras still hold their own in the time of this video, and I tell you what, they are just brilliant. Now what I like about it, easy record button. It's, you know, it has a nice weight to it. It's not too light, not too heavy in my personal opinion. Has a nice flip screen which goes up like that, very nice, big enough so you can see what you're doing. Very good for doing blogs, so you're like, oh yeah, and all that sort of jazz. I really like it for that. My little query, what I think about it, when you take out the SD card, it is a little bit of a pain because you have to, well, I personally find anyway, that you have to move the screen a little bit to pop open the cap to then get to the SD card. That's sometimes a minor thing. Obviously you have the mic, the tripod jack at the bottom. Very easy, intuitive settings there. It is a center screen, but my little power tip with this is I love the fact you can it just auto focuses so nicely. Put it into photo mode and you can literally just press the screen, it takes the picture. You don't even have to press the picture button on the top, and that's what I love about this. Obviously you can put it into auto mode, photo mode or video mode, just have other modes, but I love the fact that it just keeps it simple, keeps it basic, and you don't have to mess around with all the different settings. Obviously you can mess around with shutter speed and ISO, but I love about this because it does all the heavy lifting for you, and that's what I love about this camera. Right, so that is the M100. I'm trying to think if there's anything I don't like about it. Live streaming is a little bit of pain. You have to do some tinkering to do that with. Would I recommend this camera? Definitely. If you just want to take photos, it takes brilliant photos, and obviously you can change the lens depending on your needs, and it's just a brilliant all-round camera. I'm trying to think of anything else that I want to mention that I like about it, and just for the principle, I know how to do it easy on this one. There is the nice little sensor there on the mirrorless camera. Let's get back in, yeah, we're back in focus now, and I love that satisfying lens noise. Hang on. Oh yeah. So there we go, that's enough about that camera. Just before we carry on, if you're getting value from today's video, don't forget to like and subscribe, and why not check out our merch. About you, there you go. The director sitting on a chair over there watching me from a distance. She loves to watch my videos, don't you? Right. I'm going to talk about the Sony now. Do not go anywhere, because now I'm going to talk about the Sony. Now, for many of you, I could say, I'm going to be brutally honest now, moving forward. I'm going to say this is very much down to your personal feeling and what sort of camera you'd rather play around with, if you prefer Canon or Sony. Now, the big difference is with this, it does again have interchangeable lenses. I find it a bit more awkward to take the lens off, but I think that's just because I've used the M100 more. Obviously, you can mirror this camera again. It's very small. It's actually a little bit smaller, if you can see there, than the M100, and it is actually quite considerably lighter as well. This is actually a slightly older camera, 20.1 megapixels, though if I'm brutally honest, unless you're doing like professional photography or video, I'll be brutally honest, most people probably couldn't really tell the difference between them really. That I must admit, I've had some fantastic results with the M100. In the sense of video, actually, the video button is actually in a nice spot there. It's right on the, hang on, there you go, you can just see that little red dot. Nice little place for it. It has a nice flip screen. Again, there's no microphone jack, so they're quite similar in that regard. Sorry, I have noticed the turn screen is a little bit smaller, but it is a slightly older camera. Again, you can get one of these second hand online for about 130, 150. I've seen them for £1,000, but that's just ridiculous. But you can get these for about 100, 150. I think, I can't remember now, I think I got this for about 130, something like that. And this is, you know, and I love it. It's very light and agile. I must admit, I actually quite like the fact it is a little bit lighter, because that means I feel I could hold it for longer without worrying about, you know, getting tired and all that jazz. Obviously, you can change the lens if you want. It takes some really nice photos, as you've probably seen in the last video that I made about this camera before this video came out. But if it's further down the road, go and check out the playlist of the a5000. We've got some great videos on there. Probably added some more since this video was made. But no, it takes really nice photos, which is really nice. And I've taken some photos outside in some nice light, and really good results. And I've seen also around other people taking great photos with this in, like, you know, city streets and that sort of jazz. So it's really good for outdoor photography. Really good for family holidays, I would imagine, though I haven't done that with this particular camera. Video wise, it's really, really nice. I would say the sensor on it, mind you, it could be the lens as well, isn't quite as good as the M100, if I'm brutally honest. I can tell, just because I've made so many videos, that it is a slightly older camera. But, you know, that's just because it is a slightly older camera. So, you know, you've got to bear that in mind as well. But a lot of people might not be able to tell the difference. But I could just tell that the picture quality wasn't quite as sharp and wasn't quite as magnificent as I still feel about the M100. But again, it is a much older camera, really. It's a few years older than the M100, but they've got similar specs. And but you know, if you prefer Sony, I would definitely check out this camera. And it's a really, really nice camera. Really like it. You know, the fact you got a flip screen, it's lighter. You know, the more I use this camera, the more I sort of fall for it a little bit. And for, you know what, I actually quite like this camera. It's nice. It's light. It's agile, easy to use. I love the fact it turns on and off switch like my M50 does. You know, it was a little bit more difficult to put into different video modes, but that's easy to work out. You just play around the settings. But no, it's just nice. It's just a nice little camera. Which one would I choose then? Oh, drum roll. Boop. And be brutally honest, oh God, I've got them both here in my hands. I'm gonna say I personally still prefer the Canon M100, if I'm brutally honest, just because I've used it more and I just love the Canon cameras. But to be honest, you know, I think it's just down to personal preference. I'll be brutally honest, I think some of you would prefer this, some of you would prefer this. I think it's just down to prefer Canon or Sony, if I'm brutally honest. But if I had to say what is better, I'd probably say the M100 is a little bit better at video. They both take great photos. Obviously you can change the lenses on both, but just bear in mind that this is a slightly newer camera, probably slightly more expensive still, but price wise about the same. So yeah, if I had to pick one, it would be the M100. If you've got any questions about either of those cameras, feel free to put them in the comments below. I'll do my best to answer them. I desperately need some water. Absolute value. And I just want to say, in a moment, I'm going to leave you 2 end cards. And I'm going to bring you even more value. Thank you so much for watching. And I'll see you in the next video. Because you guys rock. you guys.